I arrived in Stuttgart like a shadow slipping out of a dream, unfinished, unwelcome, unreal. The city breathed in a language I did not know, and exhaled cold air that wrapped itself around my bones. Every street felt like an abandoned film set, every face like a mask waiting to be removed. My student room was a thin container for silence. The walls pulsed at night. The corners collected spiders that felt less like insects, more like witnesses. Sometimes I wondered if they were waiting for me to understand something they already knew. On a winter night, when the world outside froze into a single unmoving thought, I went down to the basement. Not to escape loneliness, but because loneliness had already followed me everywhere else. Basements are the stomachs of building. They digest what the upper floors refuse to see. Down there, time thickened. The air felt bruised. A door breathed softly, half open, as if it had been expecting me. I stepped inside. A light flickered. Something moved. A sting. Sharp, final, chosen. Morning arrived, but reality did not. My senses stretched like threads pulled too tight. Colors were louder. Silence had teeth. The city vibrated beneath my skin, as if I had been plugged into its nervous system. I became something that moved through alleys without touching the ground, something that reacted before it understood, something that watched danger form the way spiders feel storms approaching. The power distorts reflection. A pond in a quiet park began to rot with strange life. Ducks with blank eyes, bodies twitching like broken puppets. Their quack sounded like machines dying. The air around them felt infected by grief. One night I followed the source, men pouring chemicals into water, as if it feeding sorrow to the earth. Their van led me across roads that followed themselves, through forests that swallowed sound, into a place humans were never meant to build. Beneath a fractured windmill, I found a laboratory humming with a kind of sadness that had turned itself into violence. The man behind it all, a scientist hollowed out by loss, spoke with a voice scrapped raw by memory. He wanted the world to fracture because he already had. We fought, but it did not feel like a battle. It felt like grief crashing against instincts, like two nightmares tearing each other open. Sparks fell like dying stars. Machines screamed. The walls shook as if it trying to escape. When it ended, silence returned in like a verdict. There was no victory waiting for me, only the realization that some wounds disguised themselves as missions. I returned to Stuttgart before sunrise, as if the city was dreaming of a peace it did not earn. People woke unaware, breathing the thin line between disaster and ordinary morning. I stood by my window, feeling the weight of the web beneath me, invisible, fragile, stretched across a foreign land. Strength was never the gift, it was the burden. And so the European spider is not a hero, not a legend, but a shadow born from another shadow. A reminder that sometimes the monsters we fear are the ones trying hardest to hold the world together.